All right, Casey, you've been begging and begging and begging for me to watch this movie, so finally I sat down and I watched it, and I guess it was pretty cute.
See? I'm the one. I told you you'd like it. I tried to tell you.
After I saw the Huntrix poster on your wall in your bedroom,
I told you never to tell anyone about that.
And I saw you wearing your Soulja Boys t-shirts, I thought there must be something to this, or my grown man brother wouldn't be squealing for joy when he sees...
You haven't lived until you've seen a 32-year-old father wearing a Soulja Boys t-shirt. Also, do you like how I dyed my hair?
Yeah. No, really, and the braid is really impressive.
Yeah.
Like, how'd you get that volume, though?
I don't know, man. I just needed to cover my eyes, because that's the kind of bad boy K-pop superstar I am inside.
Yeah.
Why did I ever cover up the colors stuck inside my head, you know? I should have let the jagged edges meet the light instead. It all
That's right. No more lies. No more hiding. This is who you are.
No more hiding. I'm not going to hide my patterns, all right? I need my hair covering my eyes.
The world will know you as pop stars. But you will be much more than that. You will be hunters.
Okay, but really, what did you think? What did you think when you saw?
You know, I liked it. The joke being, just so everyone knows, Carlin was begging me to watch it, and yes, I did, and yes, it's great, and yes, it's stuck in my head, and yes to everything. I love K-pop Demon Hunters. I might as well get a poster in my room.
He loves it,
because this is a great film.
He loves it.
I loved
it's a great
it. Okay,
film.
I'm not ashamed.
Your voice without the lies. This is what it sounds like.
That's the song I have stuck in my head right now.
Yeah.
You asked me, what's the catchiest little K-pop ditty that's stuck in your head? That's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, that's for sure the one that made me cry. They're rotating. It's a constant rotation. Yesterday was all Soda Pop, and today it's Your Voice without what it sounds like. The only song that hasn't gotten stuck in my head yet is Your Idol, although I know it will because it's just so catchy. They're all so catchy.
Yeah. They're catchy. It makes sense to me why you loved this movie, Carl, because it's like girl boss superheroes.
Yeah.
It's like catchy music. It's like outfits and things.
Yeah.
This is a very Carlin aesthetic film.
I take that as a high compliment. I mean, who doesn't want to be like a pop star wearing amazing fashion and be super gorgeous and also be able to manifest sparkly weapons out of thin air and then go take down the demons while you're like simultaneously on stage, like in the middle of your pop concert? It's so fun.
I know that's what I want.
I know it is. No, you want to be the Soulja Boys. I get it. There's room for all at the table.
Even demon boy bands?
Demon boy bands are welcome here. No, but that's the other reason why I love this film. I think it's because I was so expecting it to just kind of, like, I expected the themes to just be kind of like, oh, shine your star, like unconditional self-acceptance. And I was surprised that there's a little bit more thought to it.
Uh-huh.
It landed stronger than I thought it would.
Oh yeah, there's some substance here to K-pop Demon Hunters.
Substance.
But first, what did you like? Just aesthetic wise, what drew you in about this film? Because you didn't start watching thinking this will be a lot of substance.
No. Well, I mean, I watched it because my friends recommended it. Hannah Lane, Sarah Brickle, they both were really into it, and so I was like, and it looked intriguing. And honestly, the name K-pop Demon Hunters is so like ridiculous that I'm like, the fact that this is at the top charts with a name like that, like, what is going on here? There must be more to it. I think what I love about it is that, like you said, the girl power is like very wholesome. All three of the girls are just delightful. They're kind of like the best of what young girls can aspire to be. They're compassionate with each other. They love their fans unironically. Like, there's not a twinge of irony in this movie. They're just like, we love Huntrix, and they're like, we love you guys. it's kind of lovely.
Right, and that holds true. That's like a given.
Yeah, yes, they're doing it for the fans. They're true blue. They have, there's none of this kind of cynical, like, oh, what celebrities are really like when behind closed doors. I mean, except for the Demon Boy Band.
Oh, right, except for the celebrities who are literal demons. Maybe they would be the ones. No, you're right. It's if you're looking for like kind of a wholesome movie for young girls, this would be a pretty good choice. Tons of fun for everyone.
Tons of fun for everyone. What did you like about it? Because you didn't click on this movie because it was
substantive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's always fun to experience something different. K-pop isn't my usual fare. And yet it is fun because like K-pop is like a whole thing that's been going for a long time. So it's fun to have like, this is like K-pop light, like gateway drug to K-pop.
This movie has a lot of heart to it. Do you have an idea of like the themes that are really jumping out to you?
Yeah. I mean, as usual, our method here is just watch the movie, just pay attention to what the filmmakers show you. Ask the questions that they're asking.
Yeah.
What are they showing us? What do they want us to enjoy? What do they want us to be a little sus about? What are the tensions that they're setting up? And
yes.
I think for all of the like sugar pop vibes, this movie does have a lot going on beneath the surface. I think one question that immediately jumped out at me that I found this movie's take on to be fascinating is, can you redeem the bad boy? Right? I wondered where they were going with that, because here you have this Huntrix group. They exist to kill demons, right? And they're unapologetic about that. Demons are bad. They're crawling out of the ground. They're literally sucking your souls out.
Yes.
Okay.
Literally.
So demons are bad. They're not misunderstood per se. The base level of the layer of the cake is demons are bad. But then here comes this other guy, and he kind of seems like just a guy, like different than the other demons in the underworld. And he kind of gets going on this mission, right, to start a boy band that can compete for the love of the people. And when he and Rumi start to meet, I think a big piece of me was thinking about all the middle school girls who are watching this and going, okay, where are they going with this? Because it's a tale as old as time. Girls love a bad boy.
Yeah, they do.
Carlin, why do middle school girls
love a bad boy?
And older, and why do they love a bad boy? Can you answer that for me? I mean, as a certified bad boy, I have an answer to this question, but what would be your
You are so bad. You're so punk rock, Casey.
Thank you.
I've heard a friend say one time that girls want to make a bad boy good and boys want to make a good girl bad. Have you heard that?
I haven't, but that tracks.
It kind of tracks a little. I think there's something about a bad boy that women are attracted to, this kind of like a monster within. Like there's strength to that. Like a guy who's powerful and is powerful enough to, like, I don't know, that could protect her. But then there's this important second side that it has to be a monster that is like fully loyal to her, probably because of her beauty. But for some reason, there's something about her that singles her out, that she is special and she can tame the beast. And so to everyone else, he's dangerous, but to her, he'll die for her. He'll kill for her. He'll like lay down his life.
What a rush.
Yeah. I mean, you can find that theme in like basically all literature geared towards women. It's Beauty and the Beast. It's 50 Shades of Grey. It's Twilight. There it is. Women are attracted to a powerful man that has kind of an edgy, dangerous side. But the important second piece is that he has to be tender towards her. And that gives her confidence, maybe, that like he'll never betray me. He'll never cheat on me. I can depend on him to protect me against the scary world. And I mean, there's something to that. Like women, we have inherent differences than men, and in many ways that puts us in a vulnerable position. Like women are physically less powerful than men. Or like if you have a child, then you're exceptionally vulnerable because how are you
Right.
going to defend yourself when you have a baby or a little kid that is demanding your attention that you have to like they become your priority. So for a woman to have a man in her life, it means she's going to be stable, she's going to be protected, and then she can focus on like relationally nurturing and beautifying and like creating culture and but that can't happen if there's attacks or danger from the world around her.
Right. It's interesting in culture how often that's at war with, say, like feminist theory or like feminist ideas. So, like, I'm thinking about the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
When you add all these female superheroes, the message is like, don't wait for some dude to fix you. Like, be an awesome girl, like, don't fall for it.
You don't need a man.
Or even just don't even engage with it. You know, like Captain Marvel, she just doesn't even care. You know, or like Scarlett Johansson. I just said Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, but there's the Hulk right there. There's Bruce Banner / the Hulk. There's a little bit of a romance there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, monster, but needs to be tamed by her gentleness and her keen eye and understanding. Can't get away from it. Can't get away from it.
Right. There will always be a tension in culture when we look at that trope as we wrestle with how is that supposed to go or like what's the answer. So it was interesting to see K-pop Demon Hunters just like foreground that tension and really be honest about it because she starts off with her two friends who are like so loyal, but she doesn't quite trust them with her deepest inner self.
Yeah.
Here comes this monster who is like, I understand you. He discovers that she actually is half demon, right? He sees the patterns and he's like, oh my gosh, you're a demon. We're just like each other. You know, like the world might reject you, but I will accept you. You know, like come be bad with me because I'm the only one who like sees your flaw. Like maybe the appeal of a bad boy is you get to have your cake and eat it too. On one hand, you get to be like kind of the white knight who rescues the bad boy and reforms and changes him because of his great love for you. But also the flip side of that would be he accepts you and makes you feel like $1 million because he isn't afraid of your messiness or whatever. Like bad boys deep down don't really care if the girl they're with is like a little messed up, right? Like bad boys get validation from the attention for women. There's like supercharged chemistry on the dark side of romance, and that's what we're tapping into.
But I want to push back on this because I think it's not so much I want my cake and eat it too. Like if I'm with a bad boy, then what she's longing for is she's not willing to compromise her values for him. She holds strong to, no, we have to do what's right, but she's longing for someone to see her and to see the part of her that she's been keeping hidden for so long because she's ashamed of it. And so when Jinu comes along, at first she's like, you're a demon, you have no feelings, I hate you. And he says, you think we don't have feelings? Like that's all we have is feelings. We're prisoners of our shame and our misery. That's how Gima controls us. And she realizes he lies to her. He tells her, oh, I was tricked. Like I made this deal with Guima and he gave me this voice, but then he tricked me and I left my family behind. And so I'm so ashamed. And that's what I'm ashamed of. So in her mind, she's like, oh my gosh, he's not a demon. He's a boy like me. He's a human like me.
Right.
But he is also a prisoner of his shame. And maybe for the first time, she's like, maybe we could face this. And that's why the lyrics to that song, the song that they sing together is Free. And they're like, we could face our dark parts like together. Like we can have healing if we bring it into the light, that is half of the truth. Like for the first time, she's letting a chink in her armor and the light's pouring in and her voice starts to do better. Like she can actually sing when they're friends. So I don't think it's so much like, oh yeah, we can be bad together. I think she sees someone who is also desperately in need of help, and something very lovely about her feminine heart is like, I want to nurture him and maybe we can save each other by come into the light together and we can both be redeemed.
I see what you're saying. Like she comes by some of her feelings for him honestly, in that, maybe this guy actually could, maybe he's not bad to the core. Like maybe there's some humanity to the monster.
Totally.
And that's fair. And yet, Carlin, they really have her wrestle with her decisions from that point on, because she, to do that, lies to her friends.
Yeah.
And doesn't tell them what's going on, and really kind of rolls the dice with the entire fate of the world on the fact that maybe this somewhat
boy.
like virtuous quest, maybe this somewhat romantic infatuation, 50-50, it's a little bit of both. Maybe this will work out perfectly. And she really like puts all her eggs in that basket.
True. And she doesn't ever acknowledge that there's a twist to this that's more than just like, oh, someone who sees me for who I really am. There's also like, ooh, a cute boy. Because she kind of betrays her friends and puts them on the altar of this boy in the sense that she trusts him to come through. She never opens up to her friends.
Right.
But that's why I say she's halfway there, because she tastes for the first time the hope and the light in what it feels like to be known.
Right.
But then there's that scene where she's sitting with the girls and they go, we know we're not supposed to like show our flaws, but sometimes I'm afraid I'm going to lose you guys. And they each have a moment of vulnerability with her. And she says, I got to be honest with you guys. I haven't been at my best. And I'm afraid of losing you too, but that's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to sing our song. We're going to sing Gold. We're not going to do Takedown. We're going to do Gold at the Idol Awards, because she recognizes that there's something about the song Takedown that is
hypocritical.
It's not sitting well. And they are all kind of like, yeah, no, you're right. This isn't the song that is going to unify us. But she is being hypocritical because she's not telling them the glaring truth. She's still like, I can get away with this. Like, I can get away with them never finding out my secret until it's fixed.
Yeah. And so, Carlin, where do the filmmakers land with that can you redeem the bad boy question?
Well, she can't redeem him. She can't. She doesn't. He betrays her. He just tricks her and then does a bait and switch and then exposes her on stage and causes her friends to turn on her. And so she can't redeem him. But there is a sense at the end when he realizes, like, wait, he's watching her about to die and Guima's about to kill her. She's already come to accept herself, and like they've sung their song about this is what it sounds like. She's finally walking in the light, but it's not enough to beat Guima. And then Jinu jumps in between the beam of light and like rescues her, protects her, and then he's like, I'll give you my soul or whatever. You saved my soul. And then he becomes the sword that she needs to like defeat him. And so yeah, he gives his life for their cause. So he changes his mind at the end. But is it because of the example that she set? Is it because he just finally made the right choice on his own journey? Like, I don't really know what changes his mind.
Yeah. I don't know, this is probably reading too much into the film, but I want to think it's because he saw what it looked like when she trusted her friends and did it the right way. Like, my theory on this, Carlin, and this is why actually one of the reasons I ended up, like, after the film, I was like, yes, that's so good, is because they actually don't show her redeeming the bad boy. They actually show, oh, that's kind of a bad idea because your feelings get in the way of doing the right thing. Inevitably, when you try to redeem the bad boy, and he's the only one who really gets you. And it turns out he's broken. He's using you. And that's the thing that now we're getting full into our worldview. But I think I'm going to just go here while we're on this subject. I think a lot of broken men will use women, and the women feel like it's okay because they could redeem him. But in reality, fallen male sexuality is a deeply dangerous thing in the world. It's caused so much pain. It's caused so much hurt. The fiction that so many girls believe is, well, he really loves me. He gets me. We get each other. And in reality, it's like, sister, no. This guy he's using you. Well, because, and this is where Jinu's inner struggle is so illuminating, because when Guima is talking to him in his head, it's like, I can make the voices disappear for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or I can make the voices disappear. And when I saw that, I thought, how many guys are out here trying to bury their pain with some girl or other, or a bunch of girls in a row? And what they're trying to do is make the bad feelings, the shame, go away. they're not trying to deal with their pain honestly. They're not like owning it, repenting, turning around, saying I'm sorry. They're not taking responsibility. They're just trying to bury their pain under more noise, more lights, more like I'm an awesome guy, like K-pop, like more style, you know? Like that is bad boy syndrome. That's why these guys are never really redeemed by the girl in general, because often the guy's just using the girl, and the fiction that the girl believes is, well, I can redeem the guy. And so they're each believing a little bit of a lie, right? But in general, fallen male sexuality is more toxic because it's more violent, more abusive, more like it uses people in different, more harmful ways. And I like that this film, at the end of the day, he lied to her straight up, and he betrayed her. And the solution is not lying to your friends to go be with the guy, right? It's like, actually, like, you have amazing friendship, and friendship is actually a bigger piece of the puzzle than the one soulmate romantic connection that you think is going to fix it. I just love that. That seems true to me.
This is perfectly captured in 2 songs, the 2 Saja songs.
Yes.
Soda Pop, which if you dive into the lyrics, this is one thing I also love about this movie, is that the lyrics are like spot on, and if you're paying attention, they'll just spell it out
totally.
for you.
Like any good musical.
The lyrics of Soda Pop are, "'Cause I need you to need me. I'm empty, you feed me. Refreshing. My little soda pop." It's kind of like still in this pop, colorful, like, oh, it's the mask that the Saja boys are wearing. They're singing this cute, fun song, but the undercurrent of the song is like, I'm going to drink you up.
Yeah.
You make me feel good, and so I will use you to make me feel better about myself. But then they take off the mask and they sing Your Idol. Which is like the super scary bad song where they're wearing their black hats and they're fully demonic now. And then the lyrics of that song are like, keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed, play me on repeat in your head. Anytime it hurts, play another verse. I can be your sanctuary. And I'm skipping the Korean lyrics, obviously, because I don't know what they mean and I could never pronounce them.
Hey, give him a shot. Give him a shot, Car. Just kidding.
Maybe not.
No, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
You gave me your heart. Now I'm here for your soul.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then he says, I'm the only one who'll love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin. So it's like the mask is off. This is full on power over manipulation.
Yeah.
I'm controlling you. The full on demon side of him.
Absolutely. And so many guys who are doing this exact thing know it in their heart of hearts. But the problem is their whole quest is to like get the voices to stop. So their technique is to turn off their conscience. Right?
Now, is there also examples of like guys who, because this is the narrative I also hear, and maybe it's too charitable. You tell me what you think. Guys have been socialized to not deal with their feelings the way girls are. Like, we are trained in emotional language and how to self-soothe and deal with our feelings since we're little. Boys, maybe like there can be a lack of that kind of training for boys, and so the only tool that they really have to deal with the demons that are tormenting them is, well, I feel amazing when I'm with this girl, and I feel amazing when I'm, having sex or whatever. And so I will just go to the only place that feels like relief.
Yeah. Yeah. A book that I'm really into right now is called Raising Cain by 2 psychologists.
Not Citizen Kane.
Not Citizen Kane. It's called Raising Cain. It's by 2 psychologists, Dan Kindlon and Michael Thompson. And it's about inner emotional life of boys. And they talk about how often the only acceptable emotions that a boy has modeled for him are anger, like rage, and detachment. So like if you're a young boy and you're like, yippee, it's like at a certain age, it's like, that's childish. Knock it off.
No.
Get out in left field.
No.
We're going to do some drills. Yippee is not really a manly or appropriate way, according to society, right? To respond to that. Or like if you're crying, classic, got little boys crying, and mom is there to comfort you. Dad is like, all right, champ, suck it up. And so there's something appropriate about growing up and learning to regulate your emotions. But what happens is men do what they have modeled for them, and emotionally unhealthy men are raising emotionally unhealthy men, and they just shut it down. So that's exactly right, Carlin. And this is where like men and women's sexuality, we're talking about the same thing, but they are not the same. approaches. And I mean, I'll die on that hill. That's a worldview thing. I don't think these realities are just purely silly putty in the hands of like social forces. I really think some of it is like deep down a part of the hardware,
like biological and spiritual.
Right, exactly. And I do think fallen male sexuality is just, it's more dangerous. And like, yeah, I don't know. You nailed it with those two songs. Like Soda Pop, if you're paying attention, you can see. And then Idol is like keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed. I'm the only one who understands your sin. She has these great friends who actually would accept her.
Yeah.
The solution for her is actually like, when she sings, this is what it sounds like. The lyrics are,
I tried to fix it. I tried to fight it. My head was twisted. My heart divided. All my lies collided. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know why I didn't trust you to be on my side.
Yeah.
Like she should have taken the risk with friends who actually cared about her.
Yes.
Instead of this romantic connection, which felt better, but wasn't going to do it at the end of the day. And I think my take is the filmmakers want us to see like lying to them was actually wrong and hurtful. It was bad.
Yeah. It created the very thing she was so afraid of. You know, like that moment where she sees them and she's all like covered in her patterns and then they pull out their weapons against her. Like, this is her worst nightmare. It probably wouldn't have gone that way if she had been open with them at the beginning.
Right.
But because she lied, and they're like, wait, you've been working with Genu? You've been holding this from us the whole time? Like, how can we be together if we can't even tell your truth from your lies?
Yeah. Yep. The other main theme, Carlin, that I really think this whole movie hinges on is just, what do we do with our shame? I think the reason that theme lands so well is that this movie has a careful understanding of what causes shame. Because there's two issues, really, for Rumi. One is that she has a broken parentage. We don't actually know the details, but I guess apparently her mom fell in love with a demon, and that's how we get Rumi. Her dad is a demon, right? And so there's shame about something she absolutely can't control. There's just like lineage. She had nothing to do with it. And the what she's told by her society really is our fears and our failures. We just never let anyone see those things. Right? Our fear and failure must never be seen.
And her foster mother, Celine, just drills that into her again and again and again.
Right. And there you can see, this is my guess, I mean, it seems like that is a very Eastern approach, like honor shame culture, very driven by respect. It really feels like that is an honest cultural strategy for dealing with the shame.
Yeah.
Is like, you can acknowledge it sometimes, but mostly just don't acknowledge it. Push through, honor your duty, and just stick to it. And if you do that, it's all going to be okay. We can eventually, that's how we're going to heal it. Like that's one answer. And I think you see that in all human cultures, but in some cultures it's like more strongly emphasized. And that's what her adoptive mother really represents.
May I just say, there is a sense in which that can be the right answer sometimes. Like, I'm thinking of this scene in Frozen 2. You seen it? We gotta snorkel it because that movie is so underrated. But when Anna, like this dark moment where she thinks that Elsa and Olaf are both dead. Sorry for the spoilers, everybody, but it's Cinema Snorkel. We do spoilers here.
And if you haven't seen Frozen 2 at this point, that's on you. Wait, I was going to rent that.
Oh, we're getting it for Blockbuster tonight. There's a scene where she is like at the end of her rope, and the only answer she can come up with is, I gotta just do the next right thing. Because there's still evil that needs to be faced. And no one else the people that she's dependent on aren't around to help her, but she's still got to see it through. And so she's like, I'm going to do the next right thing. I don't know if that's maybe quite the same thing as like, I'm going to hide my shame, but it is like, I'm going to put away these heartbroken feelings in order to do what I know to be right.
Right. That's so vital. Every person needs that skill at times. And it's interesting, though, how certain cultures organize more around that than around the ethics of authenticity, which Western culture is obsessed with right now. We love authenticity.
A little bit.
But here's the deal. That's true of the human experience. Like there are things we're ashamed of. And there are things that we're unfairly ashamed of. Like people shame us for elements of our lives that are totally beyond our control, and people are mean and cruel, and we would rather cover up darkness than deal with it, and let alone love each other despite our flaws.
Right.
And so when they're dealing with shame from brokenness, there's a really good answer to that. But this, Carlin, this is what surprised me about this film, and this is what was so refreshing about it. They also deal with shame from guilt, the rightful reaction to doing something wrong.
Yes.
They don't pretend like shame only comes when people misunderstand you. They're willing to say, no, there's shame when you blow it. Like Genu is a great example. I betrayed my mom and sister. Like, what? There's no hope for me, bro. I'm out. Genu out. You know, and that is a darkness that many movies today just like don't even deal with. Like so many movies dealing with the question of like, what do we do with our shame is just like, girl, just get out there. Like, and really the protagonist's answer is like, I'm sorry for being so awesome that you didn't understand me. And that's as deep as we get in most of our films.
Alphaba.
Yeah, Alphaba. Exactly. She's such a boss. She's so virtuous. She's on the right side of the social justice issue in the Emerald Kingdom or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I'm so awesome. They're afraid of what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, is that true every once in a while? Totally. People are afraid of what they don't understand. More often than not, though, we have things we've done that we're ashamed of, and that's what keeps us in the darkness. And you're like, well, whatever. I'm already on the side of the demons, so might as well enjoy it a little bit. That is an accurate read of fallen human nature.
Dang. I'm going to enjoy it a little bit. Right. I'm going to ride off into the sunset on my broomstick. If you're going to hate me, I'm just going to own it. Casey, why? Where does that come from? Like, why is it so rare to see an example like Genu, who is reckoning with the true evil that he's done?
I don't know. I mean, I have some guesses. I mean, I think it's just the course that modern culture has followed where, I mean, if we're going to get really into our worldview categories right now, we've denied first the doctrine of God as like a meaningful judge of the universe.
Right.
If you believe in him in Western society, it's more of what's been called moralistic, therapeutic deism. Like, yeah, someone got the show rolling, but he's more like Santa. He's more there to like grant my wishes and let my true inner self thrive. You know, you don't actually think of God as a judge who's judging you.
Right.
Because the reality of our own evil is an uncomfortable one. And so our culture's way of dealing with that is just banish God as a judge. And so then we do away with the category of sin, but we have to deal with the main question of life, which is like, why do bad things happen? Why do people do bad things then? If it's not in our own hearts, if the problem isn't that we all have done things bad on purpose, what's our answer? And our only real answer is society makes us do it, right? Like all people are good. And what happens is the pressures of economics or society or culture destroy us and make us do bad things. And that is, if you get rid of the category of real sin, then that's the answer you're left with. It has to be, something has to make people do these things. And the answer is, it's society. And so what you get is a slew of villains who are all misunderstood at their very worst. And then a slew of heroes whose only hero's journey is to like let their authentic self out of the box.
Right.
And we've all seen that movie a zillion times. I mean, I feel bad. I critiqued it pretty heavily in Moana when we did that episode. Even though I think Moana is better than other movies, I still think it's really about authenticity. It's the ethics of authenticity. Instead of honor or shame per se, or even guilt and shame, it's just authenticity versus inauthenticity. And that's the only story our culture knows how to tell right now.
Yeah. It feels like a reaction to me.
Against what? That's interesting.
And a reaction against, I don't know, just like this harsh moralistic, like moralizing voice. I don't know what is that voice. Is it like the voice of our parents or our grandparents or what? Maybe it's really just the voice of God and his righteousness, and we have to cower away from it because it's like I don't know how to answer your righteousness, like, so I'll just silence it.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it's our parents and grandparents, which most movies aimed at kids, that's what they say right now. Because really the only other alternative is to be like, now there's evil inside of me too, and I need to turn away from it. Even if you don't have like a Christian view of how you do that, you can kind of start going down the path when you're like, how do we atone? How do we atone for the evil that we've done? And, you know, you look at most Disney stories from like the golden age of Disney, Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. All of those characters are misunderstood, or Belle from Beauty and the Beast. They're misunderstood, but they're actually, it's because the townspeople are like more or less bad. They're villains. And the heroes, the heroines are all actually virtuous. They're all good. And it's their virtue that's misunderstood. It's that they care about others. They read books. You know, they do all the chores while everyone's loafing around. Like, they have virtue and everyone else is stuck in their vice, and that's why they're misunderstood. And now it's just,
Right.
we don't always know how to square the circle. That's one of the reasons why I think Encanto was an awkward one for me, because they want to talk about family dysfunction, but they're not really willing to admit the reality of good and evil.
Right.
And so it becomes this like, well, we don't talk about Bruno. He didn't do anything really bad. We're afraid of what we don't understand. You know, it's like, and that doesn't hit for me. That's not my experience in the world. That's not most people's experience. If there are relatives you don't talk about, sometimes it's because they did really bad stuff.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe you both did. I don't know. Like, that's how you unravel real family difficulties.
Right.
So all that to say, Carlin, maybe we needed a little bit of Eastern culture to maybe come back in and remind us, like, even if their premises and their answer are slightly different, they believe in the reality of right and wrong, at least in the context of this story. And so it reminds us that, yeah, there's shame from brokenness that we can't control, and we got to deal with that by letting people in. And there's also shame from guilt, from bad things we did. And we also have to deal with that by being honest and letting other people in. And that anchored this whole story for me and made it enjoyable to watch.
Agreed. Here's my question for you then. Lay it out straight. What does this movie say about how do we overcome our honest guilt or our shame based on evil that we've done? Like, what's the solution put forward in K-Pop Demon Hunters?
I mean, dang, Genu straight up realizes he needs to sacrifice his life to make this thing right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
His life for the lives that he's screwed up.
Yeah. Wow.
So the cost is kind of your life in some ways.
Yeah.
Like, it's real enough about how bad it is to suck people's souls out of their body and betray your mom and sister that if Genu had done less than that, there is a deeper reality where none of us can really atone for those things. Like, say you give yourself up so other people can live. It doesn't erase what you did.
Yeah.
And we all know it. So we're mostly content with honesty and like humility in those situations. Like, I blew it. Daggum. I've been on the side of the demons, folks. My bad. And when someone is like that honest and they're like, I'm willing to do what it takes to try to make this right, to even just try to make this right, that's good enough for most of us.
So repentance.
Yeah, repent straight up. But I think it is interesting that we expect there to be a selflessness unto the point of death. For it to really feel satisfying. A demon giving himself up completely is more or less feels appropriate.
Yeah. You know, I kept thinking about in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe how Edmund betrays his family. And then the White Witch has him in her custody and is like, your blood belongs to me. And just like all going according to her plan. She tempted him. He fell for it. He done messed up. And the only way to save Edmund is for Aslan, who knows the magic. He knows like the laws of the universe and how they work. And he says, if a willing participant who's done no wrong offers himself, then that's the only way to redeem the blood of a traitor. And so because Aslan truly has done no wrong, he's able to sacrifice himself and redeem Edmund. And there you have, like, basically how salvation works. When evil has been done, when the law of goodness and order has been sinned against, the only redemption is for a perfect sacrifice to take the place.
Yeah. Dang.
This also comes up in I've been reading Hebrews a lot, and it talks about in Hebrews how, like, Jesus is our high priest, and how in the Old Testament they had a priest, but that priest had to keep offering sacrifices for their own sins as well as the sins of the people, and so their sacrifice could never really be perfect. But because Jesus didn't have any of his own sins to atone for, his sacrifice can be perfect. Because he didn't deserve he didn't deserve to be punished, unlike every other person who makes a sacrifice. And so there's a sense in which, like, Genu, his sacrifice is in the real world wouldn't be enough to atone for his sin, because he deserves death. Like, he actually does deserve the fate that he's getting.
I just think it gets to the reality of, like, we long for freedom from these things that we know feel inescapable. And actually, that's why I think Geno's a good character, because he literally is trapped in hell, like, with all these demons, and he's on the side of the demons because he sold his soul. And the feeling of no redemption that he goes the first part of the movie with is reflective of what evil actually is. You know what I mean? Like, good and evil are pretty absolute, in the sense that it's not enough to, like, stop murdering most people. Like, you need to not murder anyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's
you need to have never murdered anyone.
Right. It's kind of irreversible, right? And, like, but we don't want to give up. Like, there's a piece of us that's like, I want redemption. I don't want to be stuck in this.
Yeah.
And what it costs is actually, and Christianity is very stark about this, it costs your death. Like, like, ultimately Christ died so that you can live. But Christianity is also about take up your cross, and you died with Christ. Your old self died with Christ, so your new self can rise again with him. So there's so much going on at the atonement. Like, it's such a rich doctrine at the core of Christianity that we could never really exhaust it. And one of the things is that, like, you do die when you become a Christian. You say, death to the old way, now I'm alive to Christ. Scripture puts it even more starkly in this first century ancient context, like, I'm a slave to Christ now. But sacrifice to Christ actually means freedom and redemption.
Yes.
And knowing that even if I have to deal with some consequences for my sin in an earthly sense, I'm actually right with the creator of everything. There's a quote from George MacDonald, one of my, I would say, favorite authors by proxy. I only know a little bit of his absolute best lines via C.S. Lewis. But he says, to be right with God is to be right with the universe, one with the power, the love, the will of the mighty Father, the cherisher of joy, the Lord of laughter, whose are all stories, all hopes, who loves everything and hates nothing but selfishness.
Yeah, wow.
Isn't that good? And it's like, even a movie like K-Pop Demon Hunters gets us pretty dang close to that, because we can't help but long for reconciliation with the goodness of the universe.
Yeah.
And the only step they're really missing is, hey, like, goodness is not some abstract concept. It's a person. It is the person at the center of personhood and at the center of everything. And what you need is actually to be made right with him. If you're right with him, then you're right with the universe. And actually, an aesthetic of this movie that was so poignant is, like, being trapped in hell is like a nightmare, even in this cartoony world. It's aimed at kids, but boy, that feeling of, like, I'm too far gone. I could never get out of this pit. Every human being who's ever lived can resonate with that feeling. And the miracle of Christianity is you can get on the right side of the Hanmun. You know, like, God will, because the rest of the demons are real demons. Like, they just want to eat your soul. Like, she tries talking to that one, and it's like, you know.
Are
and it's
you
like,
a prisoner too?
yeah. No, that one wasn't, you know, like, and dang, once again, I do feel like there are there's evil in the world. You know what I mean? And like God is going to
Yeah.
shut it all out of the world so that things don't come out and eat our souls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's some real truth to that. But you can be rescued from the pit. You can be put on the right side of the Hanmoon
Wow.
and live life in the sunlight. Like I love that final shot where this dark evil stadium in the heart of Seoul that they've all been singing their weird chant. Like all of a sudden it's like boom, blue sky. You know? And I'm like, that's so good. Goodness wins at the end of K-pop Demon Hunters. And it's just
Woo!
full-throated. Like no one's holding back on the goodness.
Yeah.
They dared to deal with the categories of good and evil, and then they dared to show us how good could possibly win in this kind of a scenario.
Beautiful. There's this verse in Ephesians, chapter 5. For once you were full of darkness, but now you have light from the Lord. So live as people of light. For this light within you produces only what is good and right and true.
Yeah. And when it's like, this is what it sounds like to let the jagged edges, and they don't just mean like, I'm too awesome for you, and that's why you're afraid. They actually mean like the lie I told to my friends about how I was in love with this demon guy, and I lied to you. But now that I'm in the light, this is what it sounds like to be totally free of the lies.
Yes.
And that, Carlin, is a feeling that I hope everyone gets to experience, because that is what it feels like to be a Christian. I remember there were things that I did in my life that I was so deeply ashamed of, especially as a teenager. And there was one moment where I confessed those things to our dad. You know, one of the most terrifying moments of my life, just letting him into my life, like that moment of vulnerability
Yeah.
that this movie really is all about. Just basically being like, I hope he still loves me, you know?
Oh.
First words out of his mouth were, I love you, son. And I'm really proud of you for being honest. And like, oh man, that night I went to bed with no secrets.
Yeah.
That's the heart of Christianity. People think it's all these rules that you can never keep, and it's like sticklerism, and it's a lot more like the adoptive mom.
Yeah. Celine.
Right, Celine, who just is like, push away the darkness, try harder. And it's actually way more like letting your dear close friends in and finding out we love you anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, like lying to us sucked, but you know what? Like I've done stuff like that and I love you anyway.
Yeah.
And now we're free from the shame because we've dealt with it honestly. And like the best Christians, and like everyone listening to this will have different experiences with church and Christianity or whatever. I know there's like increased interest in it right now in our culture. And every time I see someone like on X in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, there's a lot of people who are like, I'm going to church for the first time. I've seen that a lot. And my thought is always the same when I see that. I'm like, oh, I hope they encounter someone who really knows Jesus. Because there are a lot of churches that are just, or a lot of Christians who the Lord's working with us on this, but their version is just like, do the right thing harder. But like, you know, when you meet a saint, someone who has met Jesus and it's erased their shame, even though they've maybe done things that were terrible.
Yeah.
You know when you meet that person. Like, that's what real Christian community looks like.
Yeah.
The real point of this is, for once you were darkness, but now you're a light in the Lord. Walk as children of the
Yeah.
light.
And we can look at each other with just love and acceptance in our eyes because we can trust that the free gift of God is salvation and it's offered to you. And so we don't have to judge each other or hold each other to, because Christ has forgiven us and we can go through life without judgment and just love and accept. All that's required of you is to like turn from your sin and just repent. Like it doesn't require you to relive your life perfectly.
Right, because you can't.
It's just to walk in openness, to walk in honesty and repentance.
One of my heroes is a guy that I got to work with. His name is Tom Terrence, and he was a full-on member of the KKK in the 60s.
Whoa.
He tried to firebomb a local synagogue leader's house. And in the ensuing chase with the FBI, someone he was with got killed. He was shot multiple times and he went to prison. And in prison, he encountered Jesus. And as a young man, and his autobiography is called Consumed by Hate, Redeemed by Love. Because as a young guy, he just hated everybody. He hated black people. He hated Jewish people. He really believed they were destroying America. And he was going to get violent to like try to deal with it. But it was hate in his heart. And afterwards, in prison, he became friends with all these Christians who were black, and then he went and he apologized to the Jewish leader he had tried to kill. Just crazy. His story's amazing. Wow. I love that Christianity lets you do all of it. It lets you have no mercy for evil. Mm-hmm. Like, we are on the side of the angels trying to whoop up on some demons because there is evil in the world, and we do need to fight. We do need to be protectors, but it also lets you be on the side of mercy because, man, God is merciful to us. And when there is someone who has fallen, there's grace and forgiveness for them too. It's like you get the best of both worlds. And I do think this movie, without being a Christian film, I think it taps into that. Like, this is what it looks like to walk without shame, to forgive and be long-suffering with each other, and to ultimately be heroes who are on the side of justice. And we're not just letting people's souls get sucked out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Man, so, Casey, thanks for forcing me to watch this movie. I can't believe I would have missed out.
Saja Boys for life!
Which of the Huntrix girls would you want to be? Would you want to be Rumi, who can sing with the voices of angels? Would you rather be Mira, who can dance, and she's got all the choreography? She's so cool, and she's got like this hardened like
dance.
Would you rather be Zoe, who's like the main rapper, and she's so cute and so sweet, but she goes hard when she raps? Which one do you feel like you most connect with?
I'll tell you who I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be their dopey band manager, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. He is a chump. He's a tryhard. But they're so kind to him. They love him.
No, he's good. He's actually a good character. I'm sorry I said that, Bobby. All right, Carlin, what's next? Punk rock Satan Hunters?
Sounds great.
Folk band Ghostbusters?
Classical quartet Ghoul Destroyers?
Well, I think we could really vamp on this genre. I think there's a lot more content to be mined.
I'm there for it. Bring me another. I want another.
Hey, just keep the content. Keep feeding me this content. Yum, 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 yum. All right, hey, this has been another action-packed episode of Cinema Snuggle. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.